My name's Van Sauwine. I'm a senior trainer with Alpha Computer Consultants. Today I'm going to show you how to create a wall planner or calendar in InDesign. Now I could do this manually. I could create tables and tediously type in the days of the weeks and the dates, but that would take a long time and be quite fiddly. Instead, what you can do is download a free script to use in InDesign called Calendar Wizard. It's available from calendarwizard.sourceforge.net, so just go to this website and download the file. So back in InDesign, go to the Scripts panel by choosing Window, Utilities, Scripts. In there you'll see a folder called User. Right-click on that folder and choose Reveal in Finder. This will open on your PC or Mac the folder where your script needs to go. So just copy the Calendar Wizard folder you've downloaded into this Scripts panel folder. Also note, inside the Calendar Wizard folder you have a Holidays and an Extra Holidays folder. The Holidays will be available to you by default, but if you want access to extra holidays, for example, I'd like my Australia 2014 and 15 holidays, I'm going to move them into my Holidays folder here. Once you've copied the script across, go back to InDesign and your script will be available in that user folder under Calendar Wizard automatically. No need to restart. Now let's make an InDesign document. So I'm going to go up to the File menu and choose File, New Document. I want my wall planner to be A3, so I'm going to choose A3 and Landscape. And now I'm going to hit OK. All I need to do to create a calendar is double-click on my Calendar Wizard script. I'm going to do that, and that will open up my Adobe InDesign Calendar Wizard dialog box. At the top I'm going to choose my month, so I'm going to make a wall planner from July to September of 2015. I have a lot of other options. I'm going to keep it in English. Start it on the Monday. I'm going to use my heading style full. I'm going to do Sunday rather than Sun or S. I won't include anything in this option here, and note that on the right I could include my Australia 2014 holidays if I wanted to, so I'm going to tick that to include those holidays. Then down the bottom I want to do 3 months per page, so I'm going to set the calendars per page to 3. Now in the page setting, this is where you choose where the calendar is created. If you choose Auto, then the wizard will create a new document for you. I want to put it into this document, so I'm going to choose Current Document. I'm going to click OK, and you'll see it's going to create my calendars in my current document. This is not ideal though, because the calendars are created in a horizontal line, not a vertical line. And unfortunately, the Calendar Wizard is set up so that if you do 3 calendars to a page, it will always do it horizontally on a landscape page. You can't change the orientation. So what we have to do is we have to do a bit of trickery to fool Calendar Wizard into creating the right kind of layout that we can then manipulate. So I'm going to close this file without saving and start again. So I'm going to make a new document that is A4 and Portrait. So I'll choose File, New Document. It'll be A4 and Portrait. I'm going to put a large top margin in so that I've got a bit of space for a heading at the top of the page. I'll click OK. And in this new document, I'm going to run the Calendar Wizard again. So I'll double click on Calendar Wizard. Again, I'll go from July to September. I'll start on Monday. I'll do full headings for the days of the week, so Sunday. I'm going to add my Australian holidays. And most importantly, at the bottom, I'm going to do 3 calendars per page, and the page I want is my current document. I'll click OK, and I've now got 3 months one on top of the other, which is perfect, except that of course I have an A4 portrait document instead of a landscape document. Also notice that there's a few colours here. Because I put the Australian holidays in, you'll see in the layers I've actually got my calendar text on one layer, which is green, and my calendar holidays on a second layer, which is red, which has added actually another table on top of the existing table. So the calendar wizard makes multiple tables on top of each other depending on which options you choose. Let's make this A3 landscape. So we'll go to File, Document Setup, and I'm going to change the orientation to landscape and the page size to A3. I'll click OK. And I've now got to make my tables wider. So I'm going to select all the frames my tables are in and stretch them right out to the edge of the page. Now I could manually resize my tables, which would be pretty tedious and fiddly, especially since I have multiple overlapping tables in August for some public holidays. What I'll do instead is I can select each text frame for each table, and as part of the Calendar Wizard script, we have a second script called Fit Calendar to Frame. I'm going to double click that, and that will fit every calendar table inside that text frame and stretch it out to the right size. So I've done July. I can now select August and double click again on the Fit Calendar to Frame script, and again for September. The bare bones of my calendar are here. Now all I have to do is add headings and format. So I want to select my headings here to format them, but you might have a bit of trouble selecting text that has been created with the Calendar Wizard. That's because, have a look at your layers. You'll see you've actually got two more layers on top of the default layer 1. Calendar text is actually an extra layer with an empty table that's created for you to add your own text to the calendar. You then have a calendar holidays layer, which is the layer I used for all those Australian holidays. And lastly, layer 1, my original layer, that is where all the calendar text has gone. So what I'm going to do is select layer 1, and then I'll be able to select July 2015. Just hide the other two to be safe. There we go. So I'll format this text to use the Source Sans Pro font in light. I'll make it a bit smaller, so I'll make it 32 points, and I'll turn off the small caps, and I'll left align it. In my paragraph styles, it's using Cal Title. There's an override now. I'm going to apply that override to the style and redefine the style. So now August and September also have that formatting. I'll do the same for the days of the week, so I'll select one of my days and I'll change it to Source Sans Pro Light. I'll right align it and then redefine the paragraph style it's using. And again for the days of the week, so I'll highlight one of the days and I'll change it again to Source Sans Pro, just regular this time, and I'll redefine. Next I'll format my table cells. So I'll select the July 2015 cell here. Now it is using a cell style called Cal Title. I find table cell styles are a little bit particular, so instead of redefining, I'm going to double click to edit the settings in the cell style options dialog box. I'll go into the strokes and fills, I'll deselect the bottom, and I'm actually going to get rid of the stroke by setting the weight to 0 here. I'll hit OK, and you'll see that I've now got no boxes around my month headings. I'll do the same for my days of the week. I'll highlight my days of the week, and I'll double click on Cal Day, go into my strokes and fills, and in the cell fill I'll pick a colour here. I should have made a slightly more attractive swatch colour before I did this, but I'll just go with a 50% tint of the green that's there, which I'll just live with for now. And I've now got all my cells formatted with a colour here. I'd have to manually edit the height of the cells to make them a bit taller, so I can do that, but be aware that you'll have to do it for the other two as well. And then you will run into issues with the fact that you do have, remember, your other layers with other cells on top that now don't quite match. I also might have some overset text now. So yeah, do be careful if you are resizing. I'm going to make my boxes bigger. And if you do want to do any resizing, you might need to also use the script. And that will realign the calendar tables with each other for each selected frame. Now that I've run this script, you'll see if I turn my holidays and my calendar text layers back on, everything lines up, all my layers line up with each other. So there's my calendar. I just need to put a large title on the whole thing. So I'll call this 3-month planner, and I'll highlight that text and use again the Source Sans light font, and I might go for a much bigger, maybe around 45 or so, and then I can move that down and add any other content I need. So there you have it. I've made a 3-month planner using the calendar wizard with a bit of fiddling around, but it's quite easy to use these tools to create really interesting and unique calendars.